recording. You'll be putting it on this thing, no?
Cloud.
No, the other YouTube.
Already done that.
Okay, you'll be doing that, no? Okay.
Yes, please record and then you start.
Okay, recording. It's a very good afternoon to all of you. And today we are having this post-COP29 eco webinar. And I would like to first of all welcome our patrons, our office bearers. Kalyani ji is there, Madam Manju Kak is there, and Upasana ji, and all senior members of our AIWC, Kuljit ji, and everybody. I'm not naming all. A very warm welcome to all of you to this webinar. Initially, the meeting will be like this. Initially, I'll be sharing a presentation where a general sort of thing will be shown. What happened, the venue and other things, general information will be shared. And thereafter, each of the participants will be, Kalyani ji will be making her presidential address. And then Manju Kak ji will be speaking a few words, and thereafter each participant will be sharing their own experiences. So Upasana ji is just okay. Now let me now share my presentation. I hope it is visible now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'll put it on the slideshow. Is that okay? Slideshow is all right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, then general remark about Baku, where the meeting was held. That is, it's a small city with 2.5 million population. It's the capital city of Azerbaijan, and 97% is Muslim population. But they don't wear burqa or hijab, or they're very normal wear clothes and all that. Very liberal and hospitable and tourist friendly. Then the language is Azerbaijani and Russian, and English is not spoken much. Even in the shops also, local language is written on every item. So it's a bit difficult to get things, food items and all that. We won't know what it is and all that. The currency is manat, and 1 manat is equal to rupees 50. Then it's in the landscape. It has got snow-clad mountains on one side and beaches on the other side. Caspian Sea is there. So, but that is the thing, and it is very cold. 4 degree to 14 degrees temperature was there when we went. So we could use all our daily warm clothing there. So, and this city is the city of winds. It's very cold winds are all the time blowing. And then this Azerbaijan is also known as land of fire. They've got the flame towers, they've got the fire temple, and there is a fire mountain also. These are the things for sightseeing. And this is the venue, Blue Zone. This is the 1 minute. Let me. Okay, this is the Blue Zone, which is managed by the UNFCCC. And this is open to UN delegates, official and government delegations, and also the observers like us, observer delegates. So this is a night view because most of the time we are getting out in the night. So this is the entrance. And next, this is a glass gate. So there it is written that you are standing beneath the world's first sustainable solar glass arch. This is solar energy is generated in this. And so they have their own lighting and music displays are all done through this solar. Okay? And they say that it cuts carbon emissions by 60%, 60 tons. So that's the entry gate. And you can see in blue shirts, all these boys and in blue dresses are all volunteers. And this is a green zone. Green zone is managed by the COP29 presidency, the host country and presidency, where private sector participation is there, pavilions are there. And it's a private sector. Um, somebody's okay. This is a platform for private sector to showcase their contributions. Then 55,000 persons had participated in COP29. But this in Dubai, it was 80,000. And that way it was 30,000 less. And arrangements were very good. Transport was much better than Dubai. And of course, we had to walk a lot, but still it was much lesser than, as compared to Dubai. And volunteers were there. Everywhere they were there. School, college boys and girls in uniform. Very good arrangement that way. Metro stations, bus stations, and all that. And this was the hotel where we were staying, Mildom Hotel. And this was our May 28 metro station. May 28 some year was their Independence Day. So this station is in the center of the city. And this is the Baki Metropolitan Metro, this thing. Baku is told Baki in the language. And here, Korogulu is the station where we get down. So these two stations were very important for us. And this is this thing I wanted to show because this is such a huge escalator. We were really worried to get on and off in the first 2 days. Really, it was frightening how to get. It was very big, 3-story, underground it was. So this is a shuttle buses are there. From first we walk for 15 minutes to the station, metro station. From there to the Koroglu station thing, and then take the shuttle bus to the venue. Venue is also a 5 minutes walk. So that was it. And our participation was 5 persons had participated this year. Kalyani Raji, president, she came in the middle of the week of 14th to 20th November. And then first week, Srimati Usha Nair and myself, we had participated from 11 to 16. And the second week, 17 to 22, Upasana ji and Dr. K.G. Vijayalakshmi, they had participated. Both of them had participated. Then, as a preliminary work for this, we had prepared 3 posters taking inputs from all the branches. We had written to all the branches to get us the photographs or information for preparing those things. And 3 posters were prepared. And one was on progress on ongoing programs. That means last year, whatever poster we had prepared, whatever program was continuing, like energy conservation and efficiency, then safe veggies were the income generation, next stage was the, then mangroves project was there. All those things, we put it in a thematic way in one poster. And then next poster was on waste management. We had a lot of work done on the waste management. We had taken only the last years after COP28 to this COP. So firstly, collection and segregation of waste was there. That central office, that plastic collection center was also put. And then kitchen gardens and vermicompost, 2 of the branches had done that. And then e-waste collection, the Holladak centers which were done. Then the third poster was on general initiatives under climate change. There were several branches that done. All the branches who have done take, under AIWC financing. That's the criteria we have taken. Protection of oceans, then water conservation, UN International Year of Millets, then general awareness. These 3 posters were made and taken. This was a stall. We had got this 33. This one is 34. So a very small space was allotted to us. Very small space was allowed to everyone, all the exhibitants. And we had to put the 2 posters up and 1 down. And we had small posters we put on the sites and all that, along with the Infose and all that. And there was a TV LED screen at the back, which was our programs. We had put it on the pen drive and taken it. So that was scrolling all the time, and that was how it was. And we had shared the stall with four more. Uh, and that was Infose. Here, I would like to especially thank Judith, who had really helped in getting the stall for us, and then also worked with us, together. It was very cooperative manner. And Infose, then INSEDA, then Sustainable Environmental SUSWATch. Fortunately, only Infosys and us had all the posters, so we could somehow manage. And there were two chairs only. Most of the time, we had to stand. And these are some of the pictures I had taken when the TV was scrolling. All those things, programs which had by many branches which had given. So that is how it went in the exhibition stall. And this is one important event that we had, everybody would have seen in the national group, that we had had an event on the 16th at the CSO Pavilion, Saving Walden's World. It went very fine. The Jim Merkel was a director, and the theme was empowering women through education, better health facilities, and all that. And three countries were there in the movie, the experiences: Cuba, Slovenia, and India. So it was, the film was long. We could not have shown the full thing. So we stuck to only 90 minutes of the Indian portion only. So that was a very successful thing and important. This is what we had, the invite we had sent to all. We got this thing just a day before only, and we tried to garner all the publicity through this. These are few of the people who had attended, and Kalyani ji and Usha ji had spoken. Kalyani ji had generally welcomed, and then Usha ji spoke about the movie. And these are mainly the people photographs. Then another here, this has happened in the second week, but I'm showing it here because this Gender Just Climate Solutions, this is co-hosted by AIWC every year. This year also it had happened, and so these are the awardees, the photographs. This I took from the website only, and Tajikistan, Brazil, and Mozambique, they had got the awards this year. Kalyani ji was there in this event. I'm sure Upasana ji and Vijayalakshmi may have also been there, because it's in the second week. I know. And you would have all seen in the newspapers about a protest, a lot of protests going on. Yes, it was peaceful protest in the against the war, against vegan food and all that, and also about the rich nations, how they are supposed to finance, about the dissatisfaction in the finance, climate finance. So that is what it was all about. And here, generally, I would like to say the hospitality, I told you already, but these are the volunteers who helped us put this girl, she got up on the thing and stood up on, and then all the volunteers were very helpful. So this is what it is like. And the cleaning stuff, this photo, I put it especially because the way almost around the clock, this lady was, we were really impressed the way she was maintaining that restroom. Every time somebody goes, she's cleaning, sweeping the floor, and cleaning the wash basin with tissue. So that is what we took a photograph with her. And then now I have to talk about the food when I'm talking about this general conveniences. The food was very expensive, and not in terms of Indian rupees only. Everyone was complaining, even in the presidency meet, which CSOs had, representatives had, delegations were all speaking, Europeans, everybody was speaking about the food price inside the venue. Outside it was very cheap, inside. So and there was no space also to have food. So we had to squat down and have our food during the lunch. So that is how it is. And this food, when I'm talking about just a small thing about the price, 3 manat for one banana we were taking. And the same bananas, when we went in the evening to the shop, the supermarket, we got 1 kg of banana, 6 to 7 bananas for 2.9 manat. So three bananas for one here, and three for 7 bananas. So it was the height of that expensiveness. And vegetarians had a tough time. Vegetarian food was much less there. So otherwise, it was all very good arrangement, and that's it. And now there are other events. Each of the participants will be speaking, and this is how it is. Just for an information, the screen will be, there will be a scrolling screen in the corridors. One has to see which interesting program, which will be the interesting program which we are interested, and then note down and go. And about these programs, individually participants will be speaking. So I'll be speaking about the first week programs later, and Ushaji will be speaking generally about negotiations and the finer aspects, and Kalyani ji and Upasana ji and Vijayalakshmi will also be. Vijayalakshmi has just joined also, so we'll be speaking. Now, I think I'll stop sharing. That's all for now. And now I would request Kalyani ji to say a few words, presidential remarks. Ma'am, Kalyani ji.
Yeah, thank you, Bhuvneshwari, for that lovely presentation. You have taken all the others who were not in Baku, you have sort of taken them on a tour to Baku, and with all the COP initiatives, you have presented it very well. Thank you so much, and welcome all of you. And those are very normal things every year we have, and I'm glad that Bhuvneshwari arranged this, and this year also we are having. So I'll stop here. I think Bhuvneshwari, you want me to talk about my experience later, right? Okay.
Yeah,
thank you, Bhuvneshwari, for arranging this. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you. Can I request Madam Manjuka, Secretary General, to say a few words, please? She's there and she has agreed to speak today. General remarks, ma'am? Madam is there.
She has joined on 2 devices, but...
Oh, 2 devices, okay.
Yes.
Madam?
And in one, the video is on. Can you see her on the screen?
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Ma'am? No, audio is off.
And it's not working, that office one. So I'm using the phone.
Yeah, you're connected on the other device also.
Huh.
No, now the device is not, there's no camera on that.
Okay.
So I've come to the other room on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, can you speak a few words? I mean, it's your turn.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Bhuvneshwari, for your hard work, your dedication, and for keeping this flag flying. This is a seed planted by Usha Nair when she was treasurer of AIWC at the time when Sheila Kakre was secretary and Beena Jain was president. And she carried it on her shoulders with great dedication and with a very good understanding of thinking of the future when climate change was not on the horizon of anybody. Nobody knew I was talking about it, but Usha brought this program to AIWC, and I give her full credit as well as a lot of appreciation for that. You're keeping that flag flying, Bhuvneshwari, and your work on oceans and other things have also shown a lot of foresightedness, and you have been looking at areas that AIWC has not. So the 3 points only I want to make. The first is I congratulate all the participants for all their wonderful work at the COP29 and for putting up this show for AIWC, being part of this very historic process. The first point I'm saying is again climate finance, which you have mentioned. Most important is climate finance. The funding in this area has become huge, worth trillions of dollars. So we always see 90% bankers and people who are in the finance sector coming in to see how they can adapt these to their own banking institutions, including starting a climate fund in which investors will come and put their money in at zero tax liability. So that is one thing that I have noticed, that the climate fund is not attracting federal tax, income tax, other taxes, and is becoming a very important fund to watch. The second point is commitment of from $100 million at the last COP, which I also attended, to $300 million at this COP. And yet, while they are affirming that they want to give $300 million to their developing countries, the countries who are the major polluters, like America and others, they are not actually giving the money. The money is not changing hands to the tune that they are promising it. And as you know, their manufacturing units are all in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, and in Turkey and other places. They do not pollute their own countries, they pollute other countries, and then expect us to pay the carbon emissions, taxes, etc. So that responsibility that should come on those countries, they are not taking it. Obviously, it translates into gender bias also, because eventually the gender becomes a component. The second thing I want to say is, in all the 10 constituencies that are part of COP, women and gender is just one of those 10 constituencies. It is academics, it is scientists, it's other technical people, and women and gender. But women and gender have the loudest voice, because we do make up at least 40 to 50% of the international population. So, though our are small, our voice is huge. Unfortunately, we are only reduced to awareness and grassroots initiatives. On the larger initiatives, we are not able to do that much due to various reasons. But awareness initiatives, we can think of global and other initiatives where women's voices become so strong that people are forced to pay attention. So that is the second point I'm making. And as we all have heard of Greenpeace and other such organizations, the gender constituency can become very strong in the awareness sector, because that is the area that we are most seen and heard, as I said, along with grassroots things like vegetables and other things. The third point that I wanted to make was that what in AIWC we can do and how we can make this, a policy statement is required. And I think some of the senior people working in this should work on the policy statement. For example, I noticed you did very pioneering work with oceans and making awareness of the littering of oceans. And you had taken that on in several, webinars. I could not attend all of them. Now we have two important coastlines. Your coastline, which is Kerala, and that further down Goa and down. And then we have the coastline, which is Kakinada, Pondicherry, all that coastline. So maybe even when we're working on that, let us look at it holistically, look at the two coastlines, and if we are working on polluting the oceans, give us at the head office a project that you can think of, and that project we can ask our coastline branches to implement. So that when 5, 6 or 10 branches implemented, then holistically we look at something that, okay, we have done some awareness of our water. As you know, in Hindu philosophy, Jal, Vayu, all these things are pavitra, they are holy, they are things that are given by the gods, and keeping our water pure is something that I'm sure will attract the attention of even the government. So this is my third request to you. Consider a policy or consider a program initiative. You can put it up in Chennai and think of some program for the oceans, which will affect, which are coastal branches. I mean, not necessarily coastal. After all, we also have, branches further down from Kerala. They can take up, and even Chennai branch can take up, and that can be dedicated to the oceans and to water. So these are my three comments. First, on climate finance. Second, of course, which I just mentioned to you. And third, this. So these are 3 comments. Not having gone to COP, this is what I say. Again, congratulations to all of you and all for your leadership and for all the pioneers. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to say a few words, though I am no expert on the subject. Thank you.
That was very interesting and enlightening intervention. And we are sure we'll look at those suggestions that very valid points that you have made about the ocean and water and all that. And such a project, we'll think about it and definitely think about drawing up such a project. Thank you so much for those suggestions. Thank you. Now we can have the feedback from firstly we'll start with Kalyani ji, you will start now, or Vijayalakshmi has joined but she wanted to leave. I don't know if she's here.
Bhuvneshwari, you can ask Vijayalakshmi and others who want to speak.
Yeah, but I can't find her. She's there? She had joined in between. I think, Kalyani ji, you can start. If
no, Upasana also, just ask her if she would like to say first. Vijayalakshmi, Upasana, let them after that I can speak. Not a problem.
I will, yeah. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Yeah, I can present my views because I'll be, traveling after some time so that I can briefly put my experience and my observations, if that is all right with everyone.
It's okay, Kalyani ji, if it's okay, then we can do that. But Vijayalakshmi is also one. She joined, but she is not there now. So I think
So you can,
is that okay? Can
yeah.
we? Yeah.
You
Shall
can.
Okay, let me open that presentation then.
Yeah, please.
Okay, now I'll share the screen.
Yes, I will explain in the meantime.
Okay. Yeah.
Explaining the photographs also.
Second week, yeah, the one.
Yeah.
And I'll put it in slide show mode. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, these are the photographs which I got from Upasana ji. So, and I put it in this thing. Upasana ji, the first few photographs are about Kalyani ji's.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Okay. So this is one event that Kalyani ji had participated, spoken in. Most of you would have heard about it. Heard that video was on the YouTube and it was shared on the this thing national group. So that is there. You will be speaking about it. You were there, or should I pass on? And there was another program also of Kalyani ji speaking on that, because this is the second week I had put it like that, That's why in Infose event where
We were there.
You'll be
Yeah. Yes. We were there in this program and we attended that as in the audience. It was a beautiful program, and there, as you can see, Judith is there, and it was a program where Kalyani Raj spoke about our, activities and all. So this was one we can just. You can show that. Yeah. So you can see that Vijayalakshmi and Kalyani ji and I am there after the program.
Okay, same program. Okay.
Yeah. So now this starts my participation in COP29, as I went there on 17th of November. So before going to there, I applied for some participation in a program organized jointly by British Embassy and Gender Hub Azerbaijan. So there they invited me to display some products of AIWC handicrafts made by women, and eco-friendly products they wanted to display there. So it was on a very short notice. So I collected whatever I could, and Vijay Lakshmi, I asked her also to bring something, and she brought this, as you can see, these brown bags, hand stitched bags. She said that girls there are making these bags, and I displayed these bed covers made by waste cloth pieces in prison women made it, and foot mats and other eco-friendly products, and everybody appreciated that. They allotted us some place. You can see the name of India AIWC, and everybody was so happy to see those. And as this incident, this program was very high profile, so there were many member of parliaments also from Azerbaijan as well as over the globe also, and some were from Canada, Pakistan, Bangladesh, US. You can see the photographs afterwards. You can uh, just show some more photographs, Bhuvaneshwari, please. Yeah, yes. So that photograph where I am standing with the standee, this was a program. As you can see, the heading on that standee, and there were many other people there who were interested in working with the AIWC, and they appreciated our products. And I shared the brochures with them also about the activities of AIWC. Some of them knew about our activities and our name of organization, and I'm sure that we will be working with them for the sake of this women empowerment and WGC. There at COP29, we were working and networking there. And in the second photograph, where I'm asking a question, this was a program about eco sports, and this was organized by Kartikeya Sarabhai, CEE, and some other organizations there. It was a side event on 19th. So they were focusing on greening education partnership in schools. So there were many people like Pramod Sharma from FEE, Foundation for Environmental Education and all. So I just showed my interest. We are also working through our one-day awareness programs about plantation and waste management and all. So we just exchanged our cards, and the networking was done there also, and I hope that we will be working together also, and we will be joining hands on international level also. So we asked some question. I also asked some questions. So in this photograph, I am just interacting with Kartikeya Sarabhai, asking some question about their address. Next. So this was the, as you can see on the board, Indian Youth Climate Network, Indian Youth for Society. We attended many side events there. The programs were going on, and wherever we find that there was something of our interest, we just interacted with them. And since they are based in India, and we are more comfortable with expanding our wings and making a bigger group to work together. So this was about that. Okay, so this was really one of the very important program that we attended there, and I would like to mention here that this program was just give me a minute. He was Mr. Ratnesh, and they were working about is UN. Just a second. Yes. The person you are seeing here is Mr. Ratnesh. He is the executive director of UN Global Action in India, and they are working on protection of water and ponds and of these waste barren lands also. So the main thing is he is based in Delhi and he is working for as a representative of UN Global Action institution. So he was very happy to learn about our organization and he has shown interest to work with us. And the most amazing part was that when we introduced ourselves with him and these other two persons you are seeing is one is from HCL. Um, uh, this person who is in port, he is from HCL. Another person is also working on a global project. So the main thing was that this person Ratnesh, he knew my name and he knew about our work also. That he said, okay, I have heard about you people. You are working a lot on this climate and environment. So we were very happy that the world is so small and people here at least recognize our, identity there also. So this was something. So we can go to another. Yeah. So this was the program that we attended on 19th, and this was the program in Science for Climate Action Pavilion. And here you can see Mr. Stewart, the person who is standing besides me. Yes, he is Stewart, and he is working for World Meteorological Organization and biodiversity. He has a branch in India and he wanted us to contact them and work together with them. And I tried to contact them and I'm sure that we will be working with them very soon in future because it has a very unique idea of dealing with um, these kind of disasters that they are coming to our future generation. So I am sure that we'll do something together. So this was a one of the very important this event that we attended there. And you can see one or more professor here is standing besides Vijay Lakshmi. He is Professor Higgins from University of Edinburgh. So all the speakers were very good and they gave us lots of new ideas. So I truly gained so much of knowledge there. So this was very important one. Next. Yeah. So this was the photograph which I explained earlier also. You can see Kartikeya Sarabhai standing behind this flag, eco schools, and the whole group was there. Vijay Lakshmi is also there. And this was the event which I explained before that, uh, you know, motivating students and children in schools from a very tender age is very important. So this was their event. It was a side event, so we attended that and we gained so much of knowledge. They are also very new ideas also, and we exchanged our ideas also. We also gave them some our point of view, and let's hope that we will work together and we will be working more in our AIWC forum also. Yeah, next. Here, this was one event where Mary Robinson was there. You can see, and yeah, she's there. Yes. So, and I'm standing in the center. So that was also one event where all the women were there and they were working. Their organization is called We Build Bridges for Climate Sustainable Pledge. So they are also a part of this climate finance and all. So they participated in protests and all. So it was also a very good experience for me to be a part of such an enlightened group and understand the nitty-gritty of this whole dialogue which was going on there. this is the photograph of the same first day exhibition which I mentioned before. And you are seeing this fair lady, this tall lady. She is Joanna Osabe, President and CEO of Women in Renewable Energy. She also showed interest in working with AIWC as a partner in India. And let us see how it goes, because they are very, very committed worker towards environment globally. And this lady in red shirt, she is Mariam. She is, I think, if I'm not wrong, she is the head of Azerbaijan Gender Hub there, who organized all these activities there. Next. So this was the group photograph after that event, the first day when we reached there on 17th itself, and in the evening we went to attend this event in a landmark hotel in Azerbaijan. So this was the group photograph of that event. Yeah, so this was the photograph of the last day, when all the ladies were there, and their MP was also there, one member of parliament. She also came there to attend this event, and she spoke about the fight of women there. And her name was Hijram Husseinov. Hijram Husseinov was the person who was, I think she was the chief speaker there. And everyone was given this T-shirt to show the solidarity for the cause of gender, equality and all. So we all wore that T-shirt. Vijayalakshmi also wore that T-shirt, and I also. And so that was the last day photograph. 21st, it was the. And there also, these are the some clippings where I asked some questions. I think it was, I was asking to Professor Stewart, which I mentioned before. He was talking about using the wasteland, taking back the land from the corporates for the use of environment. So I was just asking some questions to him about how will he do that. So that was this. Thank you. Thank you all. So these were the photographs as they were depicting the participation and our activities there. Apart from that, uh, my experience was wonderful, and I learned a lot. And although although the outcome of this COP29 globally is not that which we were expecting, but still I think that we are moving ahead and we are going one step forward. As I have read that there is a global movement is now going on for the ban of plastics and protection of plastics. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
So I think it is a good thing, and we as a woman can see that how many other our sisters are working globally and fighting for our rights as a climate equality in gender also. So I think it was a wonderful experience, and we are planning. And one more thing which I would like to share here was about solar cooker and all. So there I found one woman there who was working on solar cooker in a new and innovative way. She said that women while cooking on under the sun becomes very, very uncomfortable due to the heat and cooking in the open. So she has some plan about some new idea of introducing tunnel kind of solar cooker. I mean, kind of she was preparing a solar cooker which has a long what you say, a tunnel kind of a thing, like a pipe, kind of a thing, so that a woman who is working or who's cooking on solar cooker, she can sit under the shed and still she can cook from the light of the sun. So it was a very innovative idea, and I think we can think about it, and we can contact that women, and we can promote that idea. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that was a very unique idea. I think we can contact this person, and we can find out more about that. She has imbibed a new idea about solar cooking. So, not taking much time, I would like to end my this address here, because I know that Kalyani must be having a lot more to share with us.
Yeah. That's over. Upasana ji, thank you so
Yeah.
much. That was very
Thank you.
nice
Thank you.
presentation. Thank you very much for all those information. Now, Vijayalakshmi is there now. She would like to speak because she has sent a
Not
solution
now, Bhuvaneshwari, after Usha.
after Usha. Okay, because I'm not because of the Zoom, I cannot download now what to send. Let me see. Try. Usha ji. No, Kalyani ji, she has not spoken. Sorry. Kalyani ji can.
Yeah, Bhuvneshwari, fine. Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for arranging this. I think quite a lot of it has been covered by Bhuvneshwari and Upasana also, quite a lot. But I just had to say, as always, COP participation is a learning experience for us. And every time we learn new term, new terminology, new negotiation aspect, and new things. And also, more than anything, it is a very good forum which always provides us to showcase our work, which is the most important thing. We can talk about AIWC work, we can meet others and update them, exchange ideas, and as a lot of ideas we get, like Upasana also mentioned, so many ideas for getting our future work we get. So that is probably the main attraction for COP, because what goes on at the negotiation aspect is something different. Not that we are completely immune to that, but yes, for us the main concentration is learning new things, exchanging ideas, and as well as showcasing our work. And I think we were able to do it once again in this COP very well. And I think I might have to correct what this one, I think Manju said, that we have been participating in COP from Usha's time. Yes, from that time it has been very rigorous, but we have attended AIWC presentation has been there even earlier. In fact, if I remember right, Usha, correct me if I'm wrong, Lalita Balakrishnan attended Copenhagen meeting. And I think even Farida had attended one of the COPs. Shanta Das has attended one of the COPs in Durban, and Mrs. Echudi. So a lot of these people had attended COPs earlier. But I think more structured way, it started after we got the affiliation, as Manju rightly said, during Binaji's presidency. And from that time, every year we have been participating. And holding exhibition earlier when we didn't have the our own affiliation, that time we were doing it with Infose, but later on we have been always applying for the side events and this exhibition spots ourselves. And of course, they combine it because depending on the theme, the UNFCCC, because there are so many applications, so they combine it, and we've been having it always with Infose and showcasing our work well. So as far as my participation goes, yes, for the first week I was there for 3 days, and that time we attended events, and then we were there in the exhibition stall where we had a lot of visitors. We had one event which Bhuvneshwari has already spoken about in the hub, Women and Gender Constituency Hub we had, which was again quite good. The next week we had that event with Brahma Kumari, which you have seen that the video, and the Info event, always again showcasing our work. But just couple of things which I thought might to share with you this time, which is more relevant to our work out of the COP negotiations and what has gone on in the COP29. Yes, finance, there has been much development in that the countries have promised to give more, but it has to be seen. पहले भी बहुत हुआ था promises, but nothing came through. So now we just have to wait and see. More important, I would like to say is few things which was new in this COP was energy transition, जिसकी हम बात करते हैं, and we are already doing a lot of work on energy, renewable energy awareness, and propagation of alternate energy. तो हमारे लिए ये relevant इसलिए है कि energy transition was discussed in a way to include women. This is the first time in the COP they said that energy transition, and when India has been very vocal about energy transition, and India ने promise किया है कि by 1930 or 40 हमारा 60% of the energy जो है हमारा production will come out of the renewable. India ने ये promise किया था. I mean, they had declared it. So उसमें जो है they are sort of making women important. Women has been included, gender उसमें जो है inclusion किया गया है. And also is that India, they didn't have their pavilion. Normally every country has their own pavilion जो है जहाँ events करते हैं. इस बार इंडिया का कोई pavilion नहीं था, but they had other events काफी थे. उसमें one of the event important again was women-led climate action. जो है ये इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस एंड a few another organization ने मिलकर किया था. They spoke about women-led solution, which हम लोग जो है कई सालों से हम लोग बोल रहे हैं, we have to showcase our work, जो हम लोग महिलाएं जो ये लीड कर रही हैं इसके बारे में we have been talking. So that was one event which sort of collaborated with what we are talking about, women-led climate solutions, which we always talk about. So India had an event on that, International Solar Alliance जो है, they had the event on that. So that's again relating to our work, which was important. Then another one development which I would like to also share with you just for the information, there was a good decision about carbon market. वो ये होता है कि you see normally what happens, we have been always talking about historical responsibility in the climate change के मामले में. We always say कि the developing countries like India and all जो है हम लोगों ने emission create नहीं किया. जो climate change का जो आज problem है, that is not created by developing countries, it was more created by the developed countries. That's what we have been always talking about, which is called common but differential responsibility, CBDR. So this time there was this, उसमें जो है एक component होता है, Article 6 का एक component होता है carbon market. Now what happens, what is carbon market? होता ये है कि the countries like US, where there are not many manufacturing industries, what they do is get the manufacturing done in China and India and other countries. Okay, so जो यहाँ पे manufacturing होगा, so naturally the emission will come out from India. Okay, US के मार्केट में कोई emission नहीं दिखेगा.
Some network issue. Is there some network issue, Ushaji? Or is it mine?
No, I think
No, okay.
network issue on her side, I think.
I was wondering my computer is.
No. We can still see her, but her video is also paused and we cannot hear.
Yeah. You'll come back. Or she's left and might be joining back.
She'll rejoin. Yeah.
This is always, yeah. Admit, okay. Yeah, she's come. Admitted.
Yes, she has joined, but she has not unmuted herself.
Hello,
Yeah.
Yeah, please
can
go
you
on.
hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, in between, I don't know, the internet went off. Yeah, so I don't know how much you people heard me. I was talking about the carbon market. So that is a technical point, but I just thought for information, आप लोग को जैसे पता चले कि जहाँ पे these countries are making their own arrangement on the carbon trading. So there were one was decided that each country, the two countries can discuss about the carbon trading themselves, and other there will be a UN forum through which the carbon trading will happen. Plus, there was also this time a big discussion on climate disaster. उसको लेके भी इस बार अच्छा discussion हुआ था, which is important for us, our work. Other important, the most important is one, the gender point of view, the Lima work program, which was initiated in, it was, I think, gap हुआ था 2000 COP25 में, उसके बाद Lima work program for gender inclusion. So that was done, I think, 3 years ago, and then that has been extended now till next year. So that was from the gender point of view. These were the developments. Plus, there was always a lot of meeting new people, meeting old people, exchanging ideas. That's always been there. So, wo bhi bada acha raha. Overall, it was a great learning experience. And thank you, AIWC, for providing us this forum. Thank you, Bhuneshwari.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, very good points we could note about what we can do also.
Yeah.
Areas where we can work on. That was very nice. And ma'am, Ushaji, would you speak? Vijayashvi said after you, Ushaji. She's not. No.
Okay. If Vijayalakshmi has the time, then I can go first.
She is there. Vijayashvi, would you like to speak because you have to leave or something? Is that okay? Or Ushaji will?
Actually, I am in another meeting. Definitely, I will join after Usha.
Okay.
Okay. Namaskar to all of you, and thank you for joining. It is always a pleasure to share our experiences at COPS. I've been doing it for many years now. Earlier in Central Office, we used to have a physical event where we shared our experiences, and now for the past couple of years, we are doing it on a webinar, which is much better because our friends from all across the country are able to join, and we are able to tell them about our experiences. So let me just share my screen. But since Bhuneshwari has already covered the introductory part and she'll be speaking about the side events in the first week, I'll tell you something about the negotiations that were going on, the decisions that were taken, and then something about the place itself. So let me share my screen. Please give me a minute. Please tell me if you can see my screen.
Yeah, you can see. You can see.
Yeah.
Now slideshow.
Yes, I put it on slideshow. Has it come to slideshow?
No, not yet.
I think it is slow, but okay, so let us just go on with this. As you know that the COP29, it was in Baku in Azerbaijan. And Bhuneshwari and myself, we attended in the first week. We had a limited number of badges, so we divided between a few people attending in the first week, and there are remaining people attending in the second week. So we could have more participation. That is why 2 of us were nominated for the first week. And Kalyani came in midweek. She stayed on till midweek, the second week, and then 2 more people could join in the second week. Can you see the
second slide has not come.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I start with India at COP29. I have been attending since 2011. That was in Durban. And I can see a sea change from what it was in Durban in 2011 to now. And slowly India has asserted her place in the group of countries. So India's voice was heard loud and clear in the negotiating rooms. And all the other countries were very eager to know what is India's position, what is India's opinion, and what are they going to do. And this was a very good thing, and we all felt very proud when people came and asked us, what is India's stand on such and such issue, and why is India speaking like this on such and such issue, which means that India has become an important country in these negotiations also. The opinions expressed by India were received with great hope and applause by some. You can easily make out that by some, I mean the developing countries, the smaller countries, the poorer countries. They were very happy to hear what India had to say. But then some of the things were not acceptable to others, by which I mean the developed countries, the rich countries who thought that they will have to shell out more if India's opinion is taken into account. And in the final moments, actually, this COP got extended by almost 2 days, 36 hours, in fact, because they could not reach an agreement. And a COP breaking up without making an agreement is very, very demeaning for the host country. So the host country will get a bad name if the COP concludes without an agreement. So they extended it, and they were trying their best to reach an agreement. And in the COPs, the agreement is always by consensus. Even if one country does not agree to a point that is not taken, everybody has to agree, and then only it is included. But this time there was a change in this, though not very perceptible, but there was a change. So the final moments were very dramatic. We were not there, but then other people who were there, they have described it in details, and you can see many videos on the net where you see the last moments when they were trying their best to reach an agreement. And India was not agreeing to certain points, and they wanted to make a point, but they were not allowed to speak at that time. And the president of the COP declared that the agreement has been adopted. And then, but later, India went up on the stage and protested, and they said they want to make a statement. So they were allowed to make a statement. So India's attempt was bulldozed, but they were allowed to make a statement. I will say more about it later. But then there were disappointments also for us, because, and it was very interesting, because the first day when we were setting up our stall, a journalist from Pakistan, a young girl, she came running and she was asking us, why is Modi not coming? And Bhuvaneshwari and me, we were quite surprised, because when we left India, we were getting the news that he is attending the COP, and we were expecting to see him as we had seen him in Dubai. But she said, no, he's not coming. It has just come up there. The absentees, who are the heads of government who are not attending, his name is included in that list, so he's not coming. And the second shock was when she told us that there is no India pavilion. In the earlier COPs, at least from 2015, we were having very good, fabulous pavilions showcasing India's work in climate change, in renewable energy, and so many other things. But this time there was no India pavilion. So she was asking us, why is it that there is no India pavilion? We were all looking forward to that. But we also didn't know why there was no pavilion, so we could not give her an answer. So this COP29 from 11th November to 22nd November, which got extended to almost 24. COP21 was labeled the Finance COP, and it was expected to focus on agreeing on climate financing. Who pays, how much is needed, and how the funds would address climate adaptation, mitigation, and loss and damage. But one thing we have to be very, very clear about is the finance that we are talking about here. It is the money given by developed countries to developing countries, and it is between governments. It is not a finance that is directly accessible to us or to any other CSOs or even the state governments in the country. This will go straight to the government, and it is for the government to decide how it is to be used and where it is to be used. So definitely they'll be making programs. And as Dr. Manjukak mentioned, when that point comes, maybe we can try and we can access the climate finance and we can try to do some programs on climate change. So though it was called the Finance COP, the final outcome left most countries disappointed because they did not get what they expected. And it was quite a letdown for most of us. The one big term that was being spoken there is NCQG. That is New Collective Quantified Goal on Climate Finance. And this is the estimate of money that the developing countries, all the developing countries would require from developed countries to adapt to climate change without compromising on developmental needs. Because many countries, including India, we say that we have to put our development first and we cannot take actions which is detrimental to our development. So the countries were expected to arrive at a new collective quantified goal on how much finance is required and how much will the developed countries give to the developing countries. The first draft of the negotiation text asked for at least 5 to 6.8 trillion US dollars until 2030 from the developed countries. But then we'll see how disappointing what was the demand and what was offered. The final draft, the first draft I just showed you what was the demand. The final draft approved only US dollars 300 billion as climate finance from developed countries. And then again, they called on all actors, which means all countries, including the developing countries, to work together to enable scaling up of financing from all public and private sources to at least 1.3 trillion per year by 2035. The earlier one you saw that they were demanding that huge amount by 2030. Here they extended the period to 2035 and reduced the amount considerably. And there was a clever play of words. In the initial text, it was that the developed countries will provide so much finance to the developing countries. But in the final text, that word was changed and it was made as the developed countries will mobilize funds from different sources. That means they are not giving their own money. They may give their money, but they will get money from other sources and they will mobilize the funds. And from public and private, bilateral and multilateral, including alternative sources, which was the point on which India was not agreeing. And also in the earlier demand, the developing countries were asking for grant. But the final agreement says that it can be from different sources, some of which may be as loan, which is not going to help the developing countries because loans have to be repaid. So that was again another point of contention. Now coming back to the dramatic moments, it seems when the countries reconvened after a lot of negotiations happening in closed rooms, one of the commentators has commented that all the developed countries, all the powerful countries were crowding around the Indian delegation and asking them to please agree to whatever has been suggested and the Indian delegation was putting their foot down and saying that no, we cannot agree because this is detrimental to our country's interests. But in the meantime, the president started the meeting, and they say that even without even looking up, because there is a way in which the countries indicate that they want to speak. That is, they put the nameplate up so that the president can see from the stage. There is also a button which they press, which goes to the secretariat, and they know which country wants to speak. India had done all that, but it was totally ignored. And the president just announced that we have reached an agreement and we have a Baku agreement now. So everybody started clapping and applauding and everybody was happy. But the Indian delegation stood its ground. They said, no, we are not agreeing to this and we must be allowed to make a statement. So at that point, Chandri Raina, advisor at the Union Ministry of Finance, gave an impassioned speech that received applause from the people in the conference room. She called both the process and the outcome a commitment of 300 billion US dollars of climate finance for developing countries. She said it is just an optical illusion, or in other words, it is just an eyewash. It is not going to help anybody. So that was India's strong stand, though India stood up for the global south, and this was acknowledged by all the other developing countries and the poorer countries and the groups of other poor countries. But then it had no effect. The powerful nations went the way they wanted to go, and an agreement was reached. Now that another decision that was taken was about carbon credit trading. Kalyani has just touched upon this. This is developed countries can invest money in developing countries in projects which are reducing emissions, and they claim credit for reducing those emissions. Though the actual work is being done in the developing country, the credit for those emissions, which every country has to give a commitment on how much emissions they will reduce. So these developed countries, without doing anything in their own country to reduce the emissions, they just invest funds in developing countries, and whatever emission reduction happens in those countries, it is taken as under their achievement. So this is carbon credit trading. There is a lot of opposition to this. Many people say that this is a way of letting the developed countries continue their emissions. In fact, US is the biggest per capita emitter, and US is also the biggest historical emitter. But in spite of that, if such a thing is adopted, they can invest funds in other countries, force other countries to take action to reduce their emissions and claim credit for that, and at the same time continue with their own plans of without reducing emissions. They can still have their development plans, and they'll be very comfortable. So, but this was agreed in this, that a carbon credit trading system will be in place. But it is very interesting to note that this decision itself was included in the Paris Agreement in 2015, and it has taken 10 years for it to be officially recognized and for the process to be recognized. So you can see how slow the system is. A decision that is taken 10 years back is made official only now after 10 years. So that was another major decision. And then many other decisions were pushed to COP30. One is guidance for the Just Transition Work Program. I think in the last post-COP, I had explained what is just transition. Just transition is people who are affected by climate change. They are losing their jobs, they are losing their livelihoods, they are losing their homes. So they have to transition to another life. They have to transition maybe to another country. They have to make so many changes in their life. But just transition means we have to ensure that they are enjoying their human rights without violating their human rights, without violating their fundamental rights. They are allowed to continue their lives. For a very small example, I can say there are coal mines. Now, when they say that all fossil fuels have to be phased out, coal mines will shut down. But there are thousands of people working in these coal mines. So what happens to them and their families? So in the context of just transition, the very same people can be trained in renewable energy work, maybe in preparing solar panels, in installing solar uh, uh, appliances, or in whichever way they can be retrained and absorbed in the workforce. So that becomes a just transition. Similarly, in other contexts also. Then there was a global stock take. That is, as I mentioned earlier, all the countries had to give commitments of how much emissions they will reduce in a fixed time frame, and they had to give a stock take. That is simply taking stock of what has been done, and that was done last year. That was called the global stock take, and it was agreed last year that there will be annual dialogues about this. The progress in reducing emissions, but this was put off. And then another one was additional guidance for NDCs, that is nationally determined commitments, which each country has to submit. And some countries had problem in making their NDCs itself. So additional guidance was to be given, but even this was pushed to COP30 or even beyond. Now, another question that came up that has been that is still very hot, discussions are going on, is are COPs relevant anymore in the context of what we have been seeing? Like this COP itself, when people are not agreeing to something, some decision is sort of forcefully imposed on them. And then these countries do not have any voice to stop it. But even then, when they say that the decisions are by consensus, but many times it is not so. And the decisions themselves, they take years or even decades to reach the grassroots level. Some decision is taken, but then it doesn't reach the grassroots level, and powerful countries push for their own agenda and get away with it. Another example that I can say about this slow implementation of decisions is decision was taken in 2012 in Doha, that all delegations, that is the country official delegations, will have gender balance. That is, they'll have an equal number of men and women in the delegation, in every delegation. And the UNFCCC was pushing for it. And for a few years, the figures did show some improvement. But the latest figures which are coming up show that in most countries, they are not maintaining this gender balance. So it is now 12 years since this decision was taken, but still it is not implemented by many countries. So this is what happens about many of the decisions. But still, the process is important because it is the only global process where climate change is discussed with the aim of finding solutions. Otherwise, each country on its own, they cannot find. This is a global problem. The emitters may be elsewhere, but then the sufferers are in other places. And what we do is not affecting just us, but it can affect people across the globe. So it is very important that all countries sit together, discuss, and however contentious it may be, however, we may not agree with all the decisions, but it is very important to keep the process going because there is no other way to save the earth. So that is why I think the COPs will go on. And again, there are many questions asked. We ourselves felt when Bhuvneshwari mentioned that nearly 50,000 people attended this COP. So you can imagine 50,000 people traveling across the globe. They may be coming by aircraft, by train, by any other mode of transport. What is the carbon footprint? How much are the emissions that just this travel has caused? And what is the impact on the climate by this? And every year we are having this. Last year in Dubai, there were 80,000 people. So whether it is really worth it to call so many people and to impose so much of carbon into the atmosphere, and then we don't even reach a reasonable decision. But as I said, we have no other option. We have to go on with this process. So all countries are trying their best to see that this becomes an effective process. So with that, I think I'll stop the dry topic of negotiations. And it was not all work and no play for us. We did find a few hours to just explore Baku and see what Baku has to offer. It was really a very learning experience. There was much to learn and then much to marvel at. And we also discovered a connection that was really astonishing. At least, for me, it was really very astonishing to find this. I'll just show you a few glimpses. This is the welcome gate. Bhuvneshwari has already shown you. This is the entrance to COP29. And this is the fire temple. This is where a natural fire is burning all the time. They say it has been burning for centuries. They don't know from what time. And there is, you can see behind that, there is a set of rooms around this fire temple, and it is maintained like a museum. And when we went into the museum, you see this we saw there. And see what is written there. In BC 1500, Hinduism was a major religion in Azerbaijan, which was a very surprising discovery for us, because Hinduism and Azerbaijan, somehow we never connected. And from the information given there, they say that Aryans, while transiting towards India, they stopped at Azerbaijan. I don't know how correct that is, but the other thing that we could understand from there is Baku was one of the important ports on the Silk Route. So a lot of Indian tradesmen were transiting through Baku, and they were coming to Baku, staying there and conducting their business. And they were very impressed with this natural fire. As you know, in Hinduism, fire is Agni Bhagavan. We worship fire. So when they saw this fire there, which is an eternal fire and burning for so many centuries, they started worshipping it. They built a small temple around it. And they say that for many centuries, there were lots of Indians living around that, Indian ascetics, Indian yoga practitioners. They were camping around this temple, and they were conducting various rituals and other things. But then at a point, a UK businessman, he started, why is this fire there? The natural gas resource of Azerbaijan, it is very near the ground. So it is the gas, the natural gas, which is escaping through the small crevices in the earth, and it starts burning, and it is burning for centuries. So one English gentleman had this idea of exploiting this. So he started extracting gas and selling it. So when this went on for some years, the supply of gas receded, just like the water table in our cities and in our country. The water table goes down if you go on extracting water for a long time. Same thing happened there, and the fire in this particular temple, it went out. And so slowly this place lost its importance, and the Hindu ascetics and others, they also dispersed. So in the museum, this is one display. This is not an ancient thing. This was renovated as recently as 2019, and they have opened it as a museum, but they have shown this image of Ganesha with this plate with fruits, pomegranate. Pomegranate is a national fruit of Azerbaijan. That is why it is kept in front of Ganeshji. This was another exhibit, very interesting. It is a small idol of Nataraja, the Shiva in the dancing pose, and see how cleverly the light is placed so that the whole shadow falls on the wall behind, which is, the full details of the image are there on the shadow behind. So this was another exhibit there. And then there were plaques like this. I think, Kuljit, can you make out? There were inscriptions in Punjabi. There were inscriptions in Sanskrit. There were inscriptions in Hindi. They say that, I don't know how this true it is, but even from Punjab, there were people there. And this is one of the inscriptions that we saw there. Then there is a fire mountain. There are mountains from where this kind of fires are going on. And this is, they say that throughout the mountain range, which is on one side of Azerbaijan, these fires are there. And that is again because of the supply of natural gas. And they have converted it into a tourism opportunity. And many people are coming from across the world just to see this fire mountain. See, you can see how the fire is burning. And it is a gas that is coming out. And what was interesting is while we were going in the car, on both sides of the road, there were vast expanses of land where we thought it was just wasteland. But then in between, we could see small pumps like our water hand pump. And they were moving up and down, up and down. And then we were told that they are actually pumps which are bringing out oil. So even oil is very near the surface in that country. So they are able to extract the oil fairly easily. So that was a very memorable COP for all of us. And we enjoyed the time inside the blue zone as well as our time outside. And that is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ushaji. That is a wonderful thing.
Very well presented. Very nice.
Actually, the Chandni Raina, she's my friend. I never knew that she was there. Otherwise, we would have gone and met her. After coming back only, I saw that she is there. We both were colleagues, actually. And now Vijayalakshmi is going to present. I will, Vijayalakshmi, I'll try to present it.
Yeah.
For you.
Did you open it?
Yeah, I have opened it, but okay. Yeah. I'm sharing it now. Huh?
Okay, okay.
Just see. No.
Okay, okay. Good evening.
Is it able to see? Okay, yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'll put it in slide mode.
Yeah. Yes, good evening all. After listening Usha Nair, Kalyani ji and Upasana ji, I don't have nothing to speak. Actually, everything was noticed here, everything was already shared with you. But Usha, I already told you about the finance, other negotiations, finance and stock taking sessions, etc., etc. In the last time also, last day also, there were so many sessions like that, but I was interested only because that is what I have opted the second time, that is 18th to 22nd, where more focus on youth and education, where I am doing right now, my work is going on in that area. So I would like to share some of these things. Actually, Upasana ji mentioned everything, but I would like to tell you certain things regarding some of the sessions I attended other than Upasana ji presented before you. Okay, third. Yeah, this is actually understood that the whole session was focused on mitigation, including response measures, adaptation, including loss and damage, the means of implementation and support, integrated and holistic approaches, other topics related to UNFCCC process. These are the areas where focused on these 10 days, it seems. That is what my understanding. Then there are many events, but main events in the second part was equitable. These are the main events. I don't want to read it because all the sessions we couldn't attend the whole thing. But in each session, there will be a person, there will be a paper which may be interested to us. That is what we attended some of the sessions. These are the sessions where there actually I went there and saw the presentation and all, but that was not I fully attended it. Then this enhancing and enabling climate solutions with higher education, where I sat and attended the whole thing. They mentioned that higher education, the third mission is to apply its strength to solve global challenges. Then another area I interested was from field to plate. That is also an interesting session where they explained everything, how we can enhance the quality of the crops rather than the quantity of the crops. They are also very important and very interesting session. Then many areas where there are many sessions where focusing on youth-driven innovation, that is tackling climate challenges. What is the role of youth? That is very important as far as India is concerned, our population is concerned. As we all know, 45% of the population constitutes youth community. So it will be better we concentrate on youth for addressing the climate change issues. Then empowering youth through authentic nature-based solutions, safeguarding ecosystem and rights. How we can safeguard the ecosystem of the nation, involving youth in the policy making as well as the decision making. Everything, the role of youth is very important. Many organizations, many events it were discussed in detail in which way we can involve more youth in these areas where we are discussing right now. Yeah, this is Baba, already she spoke about it. That is across generation, how we can reinforce global and local policy action for education. And they also believe that definitely through education we can rectify, we can solve many of the issues right now. This is very very casual and not for what Usha said, all the technology. It is all the people, all the NGOs can adopt, CSO can adopt these things. And then it was a very interesting session that was foster regenerative cultures through transformative education. That is a very important, very interesting areas. Then youth-driven sustainable cities, advancing just the transformation of urban system. Some sessions were there, they presented without carbon emission, we can have a good transport system. In the urban areas, it was, as Usha pointed out, 50,000 people are traveling across the world to reach there and attend the COP29. But by the time, how much the pollutions were there. But this is an example. They actually explained very beautifully that how we can run the transport without zero carbon emission. Then equitable climate solutions that protect health and build resilience for women, children. That is also a very important session that even they discussed of the innovative adaptation, mitigation and solutions for maternal, newborn and child health that build climate resilience as well as economic inclusion. It was an interesting session. Then youth capacity building, mobilizing intergenerational partnership through higher education. Really, I spoke there related to including climate change in from school curriculum, from first standard onwards, not only in the higher education, but we don't want a paper as such environment education, nothing like that. But from first standard onwards, we can include one chapter that is related to climate change. Then definitely the younger generation itself, the students can get into touch with it. They can think about it. They will grow up within the growing up stage, one by one, first, second, third, like that. When they reach the higher education, university level, they must have a proper understanding about the climate change, mitigation, negotiation, etc., etc. Next. Then youth involvement, the local adaptations policies. That is also very interesting area. That is how the adaptation techniques can be, policies can be implemented and through the youth involvement. That was also interesting. I think I attended almost all the youth related session as well as education because of that I thought I can write an article in Roshini as well as send a report to AWC in detail, how AWC, because we went there, we went there. What we can go back to AWC. So we can suggest some of the areas we can work, and even for not only for awareness program, but long-term program, make a youth club. So many knowledge and information we gained out of the after attending the climate COP29. Then these are the local youth engagement and local solutions. All of the people, they are thinking that the digital innovation infrastructure for local climate action environment, how we can map challenges can be, we have a roadmap. Then these people are discussing about we have to make a roadmap for challenges mapping. That is what they said. Then UN Geographical Information Network, global challenges, music, and all these, they are inclusive of everything. We will be wondering how diverse subjects can be included in a multi combination. We can include many things together. Then they spoke about it, how we can link with the climate and climate education, and how we can include more youth in the challenging areas. This is another interesting, that is green education, how meeting the greening education partnership, that is with very important areas. Green schools, how we can establish green schools in the country. They used to tell that, that is one moment. Greening. One moment. Greening school, their slogan was that, greening school, greening curriculum, greening teacher training and education system. Then we can greening community. These are the slogan raised by the group. It was so interesting how we can relate with each and every aspects of greening in education, not only in education, how we relate with the community, how we can relate with the teaching learning process, how we can relate to the not only curriculum, how to greening community, how we can transform the community as a greening community. Then Kalyani Raj, she presented very well, and she actually spoke about showing examples from the branches in different branches across India. They are doing this renewable energy, kitchen gardening, many things. Almost all the branches, what they are doing, she presented there. It was well accepted by the audience. Then these are another sessions. I just went there, and so next. Then Gender Justice and Climate Solution Awards. I don't know whether you presented that. I do not know. This Gender Justice and Climate Change Awards. It was very interesting, very interesting. And these are the people, three people, they got awards. And one lady, this lady with this painting in the face, she is a Brazilian woman working in the jungle, jungles in Brasilia. Then you know what happened. She said at the end of the day, her talk concluded like that. I did not know any science behind it. I don't know how much carbon emissions or oxygen index, nothing like that. But in my area, in my indigenous, they belongs to indigenous community. I work in a forest. There, somebody cut one tree, I will plant another tree. That is my science. That is I do not know any other science. My science is, if you cut a tree, I will plant a tree. So it was so interesting that their presentation and all, that was the best thing I enjoyed, Then next one, these are the ladies. Then cultural education responses to climate change, actually, that is bringing life into research and practice on how education and culture can improve climate literacy and skills, climate skills and climate literacy. So very important and many new terminology we learned from there. Very many terminology we learned from them. Then education is expanding access, diversity and skills in higher education. Everybody was talking about climate literacy and climate skills. That was also very interesting. Okay. This is Bhuvaneshwari, Treasurer Ubasanaji spoke about it. Then another. These areas are very important. I actually thought it is very interesting and informative for me. That is youth-led action, mental health and climate change. Then implementing zero emission. I told you transport through policy and finance. Then empowering change, role of NGOs and business in forging public health and climate change solution. Then climate resilient city, people-centered preparedness and crisis management. There, they were actually speaking about biodiversity and small business related to climate change. We never spoke about the climate change and business, but here they spoke about business, MSME related to the climate change. There are two people were actually participated from India. One was that Mr. Karthikeyan Sarabhai, his organization, he was working with India, and then there is a Gujarat or something, there was an organization. It was so interesting. Another was Global GCC partnering with the HCL. These people were, the HCL people were thinking about doing some business with using this banner under the climate change banner. Yeah, this is another green transition and climate change education as a climate solution. When we are discussing about climate solution and mitigation, but climate education as a climate solution, that is the group that they presented like that. They focused on climate education initiatives implemented by multilateral and community organizations and strategies for financing and implementation. Everywhere there was a discussion on financing also. All these sessions, there was a person who spoke about financing of that. That is very interesting, the NGOs or the civil society organization, they are thinking about how we can utilize finances properly from climate change, adaptation. This is another important area, that's locally led adaptation. Locally led adaptation, actually, that is after peace agreement, encourages to follow gender responsive approaches to adaptation. This session will discuss concrete recommendations on ensuring gender just climate policy and finance following the principles of local led adaptation and supporting climate action for feminist movement. It was very, very interesting discussions where, and I was participating in the discussion. I attended the full session of the full part of the session. Then private sector engagement, biodiversity, that is I told you before, that the transforming private sector engagement, biodiversity conservation. This is actually in partner with the Global GCC partnership with the HCL, and that person standing, he is HCL, this director, and a tall person, near to Ubasanaji. He is actually the who is he? He is the fund CSR head, CSR head of HCL. And the person next right side of Ubasanaji was the director of the center. It would be nice, we can relate with these people. It was a very good, nice session. Next one. That is Subhasana ji already told, you have many, this thing, exhibition in association with the British Commonwealth. That was on 17th evening, and we participated. It was a nice, because 2 days earlier, Subhasana ji called me and said, you have something there. Then one of the branches, they were asking this, they were training the teenage students. I mean, teenage girls, 12 to 15 years girl to stitch by themselves. Then we took some, I have taken some bags and showed there. That's all. That is just a participation. Then I would like to share with you that after attending all the sessions, AWC can also many things adopt certain initiatives and program. I think we can support maximum green schools through branches. Most of the branches are having schools, and we can support them establishing green schools. Then lobbying with the local and central government to adopt lessons on climate change from first standard onwards. I think we can make a resolution this annual conference like that. Then clean energy advocacy, that is awareness campaign on climate resilient crops. I told you all the crops, they are having enhancing the quality, not the quantity. Then organize demonstration on adaptive farming techniques. That is also very important session. Then I thought I will share with you. Then now we are adopting villages. But after attending this, I thought that we can adoption of plastic-free village by AWC and planting trees. This plastic-free village, that is a very good initiative. We are adopting villages. We can adopt a plastic-free village, That is important thing. We can, a tangible result we can make there. These are my suggestions. I thank AWC to provide me an opportunity to attend COP28 and COP29. After attending COP28, I started a small project here, that is planting trees in Anganwadis. Anganwadis are the base, very pre-primary children are studying there. We can plant 10 trees in each Anganwadi. Likewise, I started a small project. It is very good. I can share some more information with AWC members later. Thank you so much. AWC name and fame. Wherever we go, somebody will be there. Oh, you are from AWC. Okay, we know Kalyani, Rajusha, Nair, Lalita Balakrishnan. Oh, last time the president, all the president's name, some of the people may be knowing. Then I was so happy to be part of this AWC, and this capacity, the attending the COP28 and COP29. I don't know how much I am capable of thinking about climate change. Otherwise, it was not in my mind. It was not in my head. So I thank you so much for all the office bearers as well as AWC, because providing such a wonderful opportunity to know everything. I mean, what is the first-hand information we got it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijayalakshmi ji. That is a wonderful presentation. I could, thank God I could share it. Okay, now let me see my own, let me share my own feedback very fast. 1 minute. Where is my presentation? I can't see. Just 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Yeah. Because I had to in between take Vijayalakshmi's presentation. So I had to first speak. Okay. Keep it up. Now I'll share. Yes. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. This is about the first week some events and some of the photographs. I've not taken all the photographs to save time. So some of the photographs of the AIWC stall and visitors. As I told you, this is from mostly people. Most of the people who came there were from South Asian countries. Like Nepal and all Infose. I should say they were all members of the Infose also. So we had very good interaction with all of them, and we could exchange notes. And seeing our posters, they were very happy to note that AIWC was doing so much of work. We could relate to them, and most of the experiences we shared were similar, very similar. So, and the problems faced are also similar. So these are some photographs with Judith. She always had that banner. We are supposed to hold it. So that is there. Then this is another set of people who had come. I don't want to name them for paucity of time, but I will be putting it in my report and also in my write-up about the Baku, general write-up in my blog. So, and this is Mr. Kartik Sarabhai. We had the fortune to talk to him and interact with him. And he has also, we are also trying to get in touch with him for more, to do some work with him. He is an environmental expert and is doing very well in that area. So we'll be in touch with him, and we'll be doing some webinar, because that's the only thing we can do. 1 minute. So that was the few people. And then in the neighboring stalls, there were some interesting things. Like this was a delegation from Punjab. They had done this is a charitable trust. They had an event, but we could not attend that event. But we had a good discussion with them. What they were saying is, they were into agriculture, organic farming. So what they did was they used to give saplings to the village people, but they will never care for that. So they will take the sapling, and after a few times it's gone. So they will not care for them. So what they did was, at the Gurdwara, they used to give it as a prasad from the Gurdwara. So once they give it as a Gurdwara, these people go and plant it and take care of them. So that is how they were doing it. So that became very interesting, and they were into a lot of interesting information they had to share with us. And we also have told them that we have branches in Punjab, so we'll be sharing the details with those people. And another neighbor was from Taiwan, one NGO. He also had a model of rainwater harvesting model. So, but it looked very interesting. It's a very good concept, but how practical it is, we don't know, because this is on the public roads. You have to lay that underneath the public roads. So only when the roads are built, we can do that. So we cannot dig up the road and do it. But this was a very good solution where new roads are being laid. So that was a good thing we saw. And then few of the events that myself and Usha ji, both of us, in many of them we went together, otherwise individually we went. And this one, the first one, was on just transition. Usha ji has already spoken what is just transition, what it means, like, taking care of vulnerable groups, and we should ensure that no one is left behind in the process of shifting from to low carbon economies, like what she said about the coal mines. They have to be given some alternative opportunities to those displaced by that. And you have to invest more in green jobs and reducing inequalities. This were there. And what I liked was these three girls were quite energetic and active. And we used to meet them in the, one or two of them are from Indian origin also. And the energy that they exhumed, the energy with which they spoke, and the dedication, that was very wonderful. And they spoke of the military spending, how dangerous it is. And The motto was that there's no climate resilience without just transition. Yes. And mainly the demand was that gender aspects, women aspects, should be involved, included in the work programs of under just transition. So the text was circulated, and seeing the energy, I was also energized, and I thought of continuing to be a part of that group and let me understand. This is because this is not a very technical thing, so which we can understand. That is one thing they spoke was of using the traditional wisdom and rich experiences which are already available. Mostly these are available with the women. So that was one thing AIWC we were also talking about a lot, and that is one thing they spoke about. And that's it. And next was advancing gender equality and human rights. This was an event which we participated. There were 13 eminent panelists there. Mainly, it was climate finance. So it was highly technical. They all spoke of climate finance mainly. But then the fact was that integrating human rights in the NDCs, nationally determined contributions, the NDCs that each country will be coming up with. That was very important. And it is, as of now, it doesn't substantially address the needs of women and girl children. So that was one aspect which was covered in this. Most of them spoke about it, and many shared their country experiences. Actually, when we attend these climate change meetings, what we find is that mainly the things are almost same. Women are the worst affected in climate crisis everywhere or globally. So that is what one thing we come to know when we attend all these meetings. And actually, it helped me. I used to wonder. I was wondering why human rights here. But yes, I could understand. At the end of the day, I could understand how HR and climate change are interlinked, and the right to life and livelihood, it is threatened. So these are human rights violations if you don't have the livelihoods. Now, there is this aspect of including the NDCs, these aspects in the NDCs, particularly with reference to women and girls. They are that is very important, and it was a very good eye opener. It was organized by UNFPA mainly. And this was youth-led climate action. This here I attended only for some time because I had to go for another event. But it was interesting to see the room was full of young people, and even some 12, 13-year-old girl was also there to speak on this issue. But I could not hear because I did not attend completely this. But so as long as I attended, it was very interesting event. Again, this is mainly the whole focus of this COP was the finance. So again, it was financing low carbon energy transition in Asia. This I attended. It was mainly and the panelists were from, there were some 7 panelists also. The banks, Exim Bank, Bank of America, and sorry, that Bank of, not BOI, it is BOA, should be, not Bank of India, Bank of America. And top bureaucrats from several countries like Indonesia and Philippines. They spoke of the renewable energy sector, energy, finance, and all that. So many had shared their country-specific experiences. And again, here also the dilemma of rapidly increasing energy needs of each country. But then commensurate with that, how to respond to the climate crisis. You need energy, you need a lot of things, but how to respond to the climate crisis at the same time. That was one important point raised there. And facing up of fossil fuel in coal-dependent countries and middle-income countries, and need for transition, finance for the transition. of course, there was always the talk of growing gap in finance needs of developing countries. This was spoken in almost all the meetings. And the need to find, these are the basically, it all, even though India was not there in that panel, but it all related to the global south. So all the countries, developing countries. So that was one. And mainly this was mainly done by the SCAP. So I had few people whom I spoke to, my earlier charges and all that. So that was a very nice thing to participate. And event on locally led adaptation. This also I couldn't, part of it was I had attended. But here, many of the adaptation techniques were all similar to all this gardening, kitchen gardening, greening, and solar. All these things were almost similar to what we were doing. And it was, again, a very good event. All these things, I'm not talking much about it here because of the paucity of time, and I'll be putting it in the report, main report for the Roshni and also to the AIWC as MIC. This is a COP presidency meeting. All the civil society organizations had an opportunity to meet His Excellency Mukhtar Baba here. So this is one of those shots from that. And here, many people had spoken, but several people had spoken, as I said previously also, about the food price. Many people had spoken about that. And this is one interesting thing which I had attended. And before going into the room, I was wondering what is the connection with storytelling and film and TV for climate action. But this had a connection under Article 12 of the Paris Agreement, which says the public awareness and participation and dissemination of information to the general public through many forums, which is one of them is a film and TV. So this is one film was shown in that, a very short film of 3 to 5 minutes, and it was shown. And Bangladesh, the director was an award-winning person from Sumit. He was from young person from Bangladesh, and he showed one day of life of fishermen in Bangladesh. The movie was very touching, how dangerous their life was and how one boat went missing. That I have taken a video of that, the whole film, because it was only 3 to 5 minutes. And what happened was how this film was used is very interesting, since that this person, Sumit, went back to the same place where this film was shot. And when he went after a year or two, there was nothing in that place. It is all devastated by the floods. There was a flash floods and the whole village had gone. So he was feeling very bad, and he took this film and went to the authorities and showed it in several forums and helped the villagers to come back to the place and rebuild the whole village. So that was one very good thing which happened due to this particular film. That was very something very nice to hear. And this was another event, cycling event on 16th November. That was, see this person along with almost 200 participants from several European countries. They had joined, but 6,500. When they say bike, I think it is bicycle. They mean bicycle. So bike ride via 10 countries to attend the COP29. They started sometime in July also. They started. That's what I remember. And their thing was that presumption was that 80% of walking, cycling, and sharing public sector trips, that can reduce 50% less. That can make 50% less transport emissions. Energy and transport are the worst polluters, and that is what their presumption was. And you can see the journey, what they have happened to from all these countries as people joined this, and he was there. He was one of the bikers, and it was I could not find his name, but that was a very interesting thing to meet them in person. These people, very interesting. Then, of course, I think I'll stop here. And this is a next second week already spoken. And I'm really grateful to AIWC that I was nominated for this meeting. It was a learning session. We actually we enjoyed the learning process. We enjoyed, as Ushaji said, the last day we had half a day. We could see those few things, and of course, the one day we could go to the market, the old city. That was also very good, and a lot of good memories we could carry. And yes, I'll be writing about it in my report, and also in my blog. I'll share the blog this thing with link very soon. Thank you, and that's it. So I'll stop sharing now. Yeah. Now, can we have some interactions? I think all the participants have spoken, me being the last. And can we have some interactions? I'm so happy that you all had stuck to the meeting. And I was thinking by the time I speak, everybody would have left because it's a bit late. Thank you so much.
How can we leave without listening to you, Bhuvneshwari?
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that all of you came back. And
it is so interesting. We couldn't leave it in between. It's very interesting.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate all of you, and especially Usha. Usha started at 2011, and till today, she's taking interest in this subject and doing very well. Usha, my heartiest congratulations to you. And I never see anybody to continue in one subject like this so many years. That is the dedication. I called it dedication.
Yeah.
I'm really, I never forget that day I was going somewhere and you were filling the form and you said, Madam, you have to come and sign. Today is the last date. And I just drop into office and sign the paper. I never see what you are filling, and you send the paper and we become the member. AIWC become the member. You never forget. And Bhuvneshwari, your presentation, all the presentation was excellent, excellent. And I must congratulate you. And each and everything you showed like this, that we are there. I feel I am there, attending everything in detail. And I request you that you will give this report in Roshni, but you have to make this report with all these details and send it to library. Because maybe somebody, some member in charge or somebody will come and see it. This is the way to work. This is the way to work and to present. When AIWC send a delegation abroad, they should present the report like this, in detailed report, detailed day-to-day report. And you have not look after the stall, but in other also, all the information you collected and give it to us.
Yeah, sure.
Very hearty congratulations to you and to Usha, everyone. And Usha, jo apne wo dikhaya, that museum is remarkable. You have already collected. It's very rare. Yes, you have collected that Indian things are there, and kabhi wahan Indian the, nahi the, no one knows. But it's a history. It is a history also, and I have no word to thank and congratulate you. Wonderful. I am not the person to sit like this for 2.5 hours or 2.5 minutes, but it was so good that I could not leave the program. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Binaji. It is with your encouragement that I came into this field. It was when you were president that I attended the first COP in 2011. So thank you so much for your encouragement.
No, thanks. Usha, we worked together very nicely. I'm very satisfied with my tenure, and you helped me a lot. And your determination, you called me, no, you come and sign. Today is the last date. So these are the things. This is the way to work together.
Thank you.
Okay.
Kuljit?
Kuljit ji.
Anji, I have written in the chat box because along with I was getting swayed to write something. No, Kalyani spoke very well. She gave some new terms also, women-led development, all those things. I would discuss with her because I missed certain things from Kalyani's presentation. And Usha was, of course, out of this world as usual. She gave a clear information what happened and international picture she has given what is the attitude of the great nations, what is the attitude of India, how India participated, how this Chandani forcefully she gave her presentation, spoke, and people were swayed and affected by that. And then she has talked ground reality, that how that's what's the use, what's the importance of having this COP, but at the same time, it's we can say necessary evil. We have to collect also, speak also, because some then threat is there to other countries also to take certain steps. Otherwise, nobody is going to bother about climate change. As the president of USA is already saying, he doesn't agree to this Paris Agreement. He doesn't believe in climate change. If that's the attitude of the big powers, then I don't know what the other countries are going to do. Vijay Lakshmi also spoke very well. She touched about the youth development. And I think it's very important that we pursue this thing, that climate change should be included as a chapter in the syllabus so that the young from the very beginning, they can understand the importance of climate change. And about you, of course, I have had no words. The main thing is that you collected all those forces, prepared the presentation, collaged everything, and then on your own part also, you gave such a wonderful presentation. By congratulations to all of you. It was a very effective, mind-boggling, and interesting presentation from everyone. And I think while sitting, as Binaji has said, sitting in our homes, we have experienced what you experienced over there. At least I have learned a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pages notes I have taken from whatever people had said. Just see my diary, and Usha knows that I write everything in my diaries. I can show you the pages also, how much I have written. So it was really very informative and very effective presentation. Thank you so much, Bhuvneshwari, Ushaji, Vijaya, Kalyani, everybody for that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Geeta Balasubramanian wanted to speak. Geeta, you wanted to speak, yeah. You unmute and speak, Geeta. Unmuted. We can't hear.
Bhuvneshwari, you can read the chat box also.
Yeah, I'll be reading the chat box. Geeta, I'll be reading the chat box in between. बीच में you can आप वो unmute करिएगा. Okay, many people have written in the chat box. Asha Gambhir ji has written, this is very informative. Usha, thank you. And Kuljit ji has written, beautiful and effective presentation as usual. Thanks, Usha Kalyani. Discussed about new terms and nicely explained. Thanks, Kalyani. And Shashikala Tampan, as mentioned, a global approach is the only way forward. The process is important. Thanks to all our AIWC delegates to Baku. Informative feedback from each one. So then Geeta Balasubramanian has written wonderful description by Bhuvaneshwari and Usha Nair came to know many things about Azerbaijan. Thank you. Asha Deshpande ji has written, sorry, I'm leaving as I have other work. It was going very well, but I also want to make some comments and we'll do it afterwards. Asha ji wanted to make some comments. She has not come back, it seems. And Okay. Shaji wanted to speak, but she's not there now, right? No, okay. Then very good points discussed and raised by Dr. Vijayalakshmi, educating the youth about climate change from childhood itself. Thanks a lot. That's what Geeta said. Harsha, nice and comprehensive. Thanks. Keep it up. Let us try to make special dictionary for climate change, explaining its concepts. Rekha,
Geeta is unmuted.
Rekha
Maybe
Sari. Huh?
Geeta has unmuted. Geeta
Yes,
Subramaniam.
Okay.
yes.
Geeta, you please speak. After
Yeah.
that, I will read it out. Okay.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. And Mrs. Usha Nair, Kalyani, Mrs. Kalyani Raj, Mrs. Bhuvneshwari, and Dr. Vijay Lakshmi. Really, if I miss this meeting, it will be a great loss for me. इतना सुंदर explanation आप सबने दिया with all the pictures कि जो हम लोग जो जा नहीं सकते इतने दूर और वहाँ बैठकर घर में बैठकर इतनी सारी जानकारी आप लोगों ने दी, इतना हर्डल्स आप लोग ने कवर करके वहां तक गए और इतनी डिफिकल्टी का सामना करते हुए भी पूरा सक्सेसफुली यू डन योर मीटिंग and came back with lot of information, and it is really very good, and I enjoyed it well, and congratulations all of you, and God give you health and energy to do many meetings like this, and we will have some drops of knowledge from all of you. I am proud of AIWC, very much proud of AIWC, and I will always like to be there as a member. And if I can do anything, any help to you, I'll be ready. Thank you so much. मिसेस कल्याणी राज का जब वो बोलना शुरू किया उन्होंने, तब थोड़ी देर के लिए मेरा नेट चला गया और मैं कुछ नहीं सुन पाई उनके बोलने पर, लेकिन बाद में जब नेट आ गया, then again I joined it, और it was fantastic. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much.
Geeta, it will be available on the YouTube. Whatever you missed, you can वो
I
आप सुन
know,
सकते हैं, ठीक है ना?
हाँ जरूर, वो तो सुनेंगे भी और सेव भी करेंगे, लेकिन जो आमने सामने जो आप लोग का
जी,
पूरा
जी।
एक्सप्रेशन के साथ जो एक्सप्लेनेशन होता है, वो तो बहुत ही अच्छा है ना, तो
जी,
इसीलिए
जी,
मैं चाहती थी कि मैं जरूर इसको अटेंड करूं, कोई बीच में रुकावट ना आए. थैंक गॉड.
जी.
Okay,
Thank you,
okay,
Geeta.
thank you.
Thank you. Geeta is from our branch, Suvarna. And now Rekha is Sali has written.
Padmaji is waiting to
Padmaji,
speak.
okay, yeah. Shall I finish the chat box and chat thing and then talk? Lakshmi Bai has written, very interesting session, lot of inputs on the need for climate change to leave a better world for our future generations. Congratulations, team AIWC. Then Dr. Sarama Chandi, very informative session. Best wishes, congratulations. So that's all in the chat box. And Padmaji, namaskar. Please.
Good evening to everyone. I was supposed to join another meeting at 5:15. I keep on asking, I'll join you. Please go ahead. Okay. So that is so interesting, so informative. Thank you all very much. You have taken us all directly there, with such a vivid description and so much of fact information. We're all looking forward to reading the article, the whole information in the magazine, in the thing. So actually, each and every one of you covered the diverse topic of what the government, from the government side, from the NGO side, and the cultural this thing, and all the NGOs and all that. So it was a very, very good presentation. Absolutely. Each and every one of you did the best, the excellent. So thank you so much on behalf of WIA and myself. I really thank AIWC for this wonderful presentation and taking us all with you to this place. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Padma.
Right now, I think I have to leave, otherwise the other person will not excuse me anymore. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Padma. Thank you very much for the night. Anyone else is there? Somebody would like to, is there any more interest?
Usha Kalyani has sent me forward me that photo, no? Have you
Kalyani
read that
Nagar,
Punjabi ka hamara Gurbani? Usha?
Yeah.
You said no.
I didn't hear you.
Kalyani has forwarded me that whatever you read over there, no, about the history of India and in Punjabi also.
हाँ,
गुरुमुखी में लिखा था वो।
गुरुमुखी लिखा था ना।
yes, yes.
हाँ, तो that is our मूल मंत्र।
वहाँ पर सौराष्ट्रियंस भी थे
अच्छा।
who got converted after Hinduism. Zoroastrianism was there, and most of them converted to when Islam came, and some of them had come to India, Mumbai. They are the Parsis, you know. So that Navroz, that festival is still a national holiday there. So that's a very interesting place we went to.
Very interesting. And very surprising also. That
Yes.
is such a place. I mean, the name is hardly known, and Indian civilization philosophy impact is there.
When we went there,
Very
we
surprising.
never thought of it. When we went there, we didn't think of it, or of course we had not read about it. Maybe that's why. But we were really surprised to see the temple of Ganesha and all that. Okay. Geeta
Okay,
ji, you
thank
want
you.
to say?
Thank you, Bhuvneshwari, for everything coordinating and wonderful presentation from you, Vijayalakshmi, Usha, of course, as always, and very nice description of every event and everything you covered very well. And let's just see how we can take it forward in our work. I think that's most important. And I think what Binaji suggested was a good idea, that let's compile all the information and keep it in library, so that, like, even in future, whoever comes can take it up from there. That would be good. So definitely we should try to do that. I'll also be leaving now. Thank you once again, all of you.
I want to just record, how much effort went into making of those posters. And
Yeah.
Bhuvneshwari, all the efforts, it was a real problem to get good
Yeah.
quality photographs, and she had to convert the photographs into good resolution, and she put in so many hours of hard work. I have to
I
really
know, huh?
yeah, and all
Yeah.
credit for the 3 posters that we managed to put up there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, as always, I mean, like for us, I think bigger attraction is how we are able to showcase our work in different ways. That's the biggest attraction for COP, that we talk about our work and we share with information. We learn also so much. That is actually I think, the biggest attraction, participation in the COP. At least for me, that's been always the thing. So,
Yes, for
yeah.
all of us, it is a learning
Yeah.
experience. Sharing.
Yeah.
When we started
Thank
with
you
the
once again, Bhuvneshwari.
कल्याणी मेरे लिए नेक्स्ट टाइम रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा देना पहले।
अभी से करवा दो।
अभी से कर लो ना।
अभी से तो
कुलजीत
पता
के लिए
नहीं हमको।
स्पेशल नो लेट मी राइट एन ईमेल टू UNFCCC। अभी से खोल देते हैं कुलजीत कौर के लिए, बेलिस ब्राजील के लिए रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए अभी से
अच्छा,
खोल
अभी
देते
नेक्स्ट
हैं।
ब्राजील में है, तो आपको तो पता चल गया।
नेक्स्ट है बेलिस, या क्या नाम है उस जगह का, ब्राजील में है नेक्स्ट ईयर।
अच्छा।
हाँ, ठीक है, तो बड़ा
ठीक है,
डेलीगेशन लेके जाएंगे।
बिल्कुल, तो मेरे साथ बहुत बड़ा बन जाएगा।
हाँ, बिल्कुल। ठीक, चल, ओके, थैंक यू एवरीवन, बाय।
Thank you for joining.
Thank you everybody for joining and being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhuvneshwari. Thank you.
Pasna ji, thank you so much.
Bye, Kuljit ji.
Bye.
Usha ji.
Have comfortable journey.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Beena ji.
Thank you, everyone. Now I think we can end the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, formal vote of thanks का तो जरूरत नहीं है ना, because we have thanked profusely everybody.
Thanks तो हमें करना है. You have done such a wonderful job.
नहीं, but being here, we have to thank you all. Otherwise,
No
if
need.
without audience, I mean, nobody to hear.